What if one day you saw strange blue and yellow lights in the sky? Lights that make people vanish without a trace. Imagine the terror as your loved ones disappear, and you're left to face a dark truth hidden in the shadows. What's behind these vanishings? Let's unravel the chilling mystery and uncover the shocking answers in this video. One day, people in the city begin to notice strange blue and yellow lights in the sky. But these aren't ordinary lights. Whenever the lights touch someone, that person vanishes without a trace. The source of these lights is unknown, and the fate of the missing people is a mystery that the story aims to unravel. The story begins in 1992 in Blue Hill, Pennsylvania, where we meet Ray and Olivia, a married couple who are returning home. As they step inside, they notice something is terribly wrong. The house is in disarray, with belongings scattered everywhere. Concerned and confused, they immediately think of their daughter, Maisie, and rush to her room, but she's not there. Frantic, they search every corner of their home and even the surrounding area, but Maisie is nowhere to be found. It's as if she vanished into thin air. Days turn into weeks, and weeks into months. A whole year passes with no sign of Maisie. Ray and Olivia's lives are filled with worry and heartbreak as they put up posters of Maisie on every street corner, hoping for any news. But despite their efforts, Maisie remains missing. The pain of losing their daughter weighs heavily on Ray and Olivia, leaving them devastated. One day, some relatives come to visit Ray and Olivia, hoping to offer comfort and support. Among the visitors are Ray's brother Billy, Olivia's sister Arlene, Arlene's husband Kenneth, who is known as a wealthy man in the area, and Olivia's brother Morgan. The family gathers, but it is clear that Maisie's sudden disappearance has deeply affected them all. Ray, who was once a loving husband and devoted father, now struggles with depression and anger. That same night, Ray's son Noah turns on the television, and they catch Kenneth giving a speech about Maisie's disappearance. Watching Kenneth talk about Maisie brings back the pain, and everyone in the room becomes emotional once again. Unable to handle the emotions, Ray switches off the TV. Later, during dinner, tensions rise between Ray and his brother Billy, leading to an argument. Morgan tries to calm things down and urges Ray to move forward with his life, but Ray is still struggling with the loss. Later that night, Ray is sitting outside his house, lost in thought, when he notices a strange light in the sky. It moves over the house and disappears behind it. Ray assumes it's just a new military aircraft and dismisses it, but soon after, he sees an extremely bright light glowing in the forest behind his home. Feeling uneasy, Ray grabs his gun and prepares to investigate, but it's late at night, and the forest can be dangerous. Not wanting to take any chances, Billy decides to go with him, and they are joined by Noah, Morgan, and Kenneth. The group of four piles into a car and drives toward the forest. Upon reaching the location, Ray, Billy, and Kenneth head into the forest, while Noah and Morgan choose to stay behind in the car. Meanwhile, back at the house, Olivia and Arlene hear a noise outside and step out to investigate. They find a dead bird, which adds to the unsettling events of the night. Back in the forest, Ray, Billy, and Kenneth continue to move deeper when they suddenly spot a strange yellow light. Noah and Morgan, still near the car, start to hear eerie, frightening sounds. Fear grips them, and they quickly get back inside the car. Moments later, the car's lights begin to flicker, and suddenly the vehicle stalls. Morgan gets out, trying to figure out what's wrong, when out of nowhere a blue light shines down on him. Before anyone can react, Morgan vanishes into thin air, leaving Noah terrified and alone. After the light stops, Ray rushes to the car and realizes that Morgan has disappeared. Frantically, he starts searching around the area, calling out for Morgan, but there is no sign of him anywhere. Ray continues to search in every direction, but Morgan is nowhere to be found. Kenneth, having witnessed the strange light, goes into shock. Billy, noticing Kenneth's state, manages to guide him back to the car, trying to keep him calm. Unable to find Morgan, Ray decides to bring everyone back home. When they arrive, Olivia and Arlene immediately ask about Morgan. Billy breaks the news that Morgan has suddenly disappeared, leaving everyone even more anxious. Overwhelmed with fear, Olivia tries to call the police, but the call gets cut off halfway through, adding to their distress. While they were trying to make sense of everything, they suddenly hear strange noises coming from Maisie's room. Nervously, everyone heads to her room, and what they see leaves them terrified. Maisie's toys are moving by themselves, as if being controlled by an unseen force. Just then, the lights in the house start flickering wildly before shutting off completely. Through the windows, they can see the same strange yellow and blue lights outside that they had seen in the forest. The lights begin to flood into the house, casting an eerie glow all around. Suddenly, the sound of thunder roars, and the entire house starts shaking violently. Panicked, everyone scrambles to hide, unsure of what is happening. Then, as quickly as it started, the lights stop, and everything goes back to normal. But before they can catch their breath, they notice a shadow moving outside the house. The shadow circles the house, making everyone uneasy. Ray, thinking it's an intruder, grabs his gun and steps outside to confront whoever it might be. As he moves outside, he hears noises coming from upstairs. Determined to protect his family, Ray heads upstairs to investigate, but finds nothing there. Still unsettled, Ray decides to check the basement with Kenneth and Billy. When they reach the basement, they find the door slightly open. Ray cautiously approaches, sensing that something is wrong. As he gets closer to the door, the same blue light that had taken Morgan suddenly shines on him. In an instant, Ray disappears, just like Morgan did, leaving Kenneth and Billy in shock and disbelief. After Ray disappears, Billy runs upstairs in a panic. Kenneth is still in the basement, and suddenly the same blue light falls on him, making him disappear too. Meanwhile, Arlene also spots the blue light and vanishes shortly after. Now only Olivia, Billy, and Noah are left in the house. Billy rushes to Olivia, urgently telling her to stay away from the blue light. Just as Noah is about to go near the light, Billy quickly pulls him back to safety. Suddenly, the blue light starts creeping into Olivia's room. In a desperate attempt to protect herself, Olivia begins firing her gun at the door, but the light keeps moving closer. At that moment, Billy and Noah arrive and quickly grab Olivia, pulling her away from the light. They all run out of the room, but the blue light follows them, moving down the stairs like a wave of glowing fire. In a frantic escape, the three of them race out of the house and sprint down the road. As they run, they look up and see one blue and two yellow lights hovering in the sky. But after a few moments, the lights disappear. Shortly after, the police arrive. A sheriff sees them standing in the middle of the road and asks why they are out so late at night. He also mentions that someone had called from this area, but the call was cut off because of the storm. Olivia and Billy explain everything that happened to the sheriff. The police take the three of them back to the house and start searching every corner, including the basement. Despite their efforts, the only thing they find is Ray's cap. There's no sign of anyone else. The sheriff starts to think that they might be making it all up, and as he prepares to leave, he suggests that Olivia, Billy, and Noah should come to the police station for their safety, but they decide to stay at home instead. When the officers return to the station, they are met with a large crowd. A female officer tells the sheriff that many people reported seeing strange blue and yellow lights the previous night. She also confides in the sheriff that she had her own strange experience and saw the same lights herself. But later, the female officer reveals shocking news. Amidst the strange lights, she saw Maisie, Olivia, and Ray's daughter, who had gone missing a year ago. This revelation spurs the sheriff to start investigating these strange cases more seriously. Meanwhile, back at the house, Olivia, Billy, and Noah are trying to rest when Billy hears some noises coming from the kitchen. Curious and slightly on edge, he heads over to check it out. To his surprise, he finds his dog, the one that had disappeared earlier, sitting there. Overjoyed, Billy rushes to the dog, relieved to see it again. But just as he's enjoying the reunion, he notices the same eerie blue light behind him. While this is happening, Olivia is resting on her bed when suddenly, a green-colored alien, a creature unlike anything she's ever seen, enters her room and starts moving towards her. Terrified, Olivia screams loudly. Billy, hearing her screams, races to her room and tries to open the door, but it won't budge. Meanwhile, the alien places its hand on Olivia's head, and in an instant, she disappears, just like the others. We then see Olivia experiencing a vision. The alien shows her the vastness of the universe and the galaxy as seen from Earth. When Olivia regains consciousness, she's shown a vision of the day Maisie went missing. In this vision, she notices that Kenneth had come to their house after she and Ray had left that day. In the vision, Olivia watches as Maisie tells Kenneth that her parents aren't home, but that he can wait until they return. Maisie then goes back to her room, unaware of the danger. Olivia, still in the vision, is confused and scared as she sees Kenneth quietly following Maisie. He enters her room and closes the door behind him. Olivia watches in horror as Kenneth kills Maisie. Overwhelmed by the painful truth, Olivia breaks down, crying bitterly as she realizes that Kenneth was the one who took her daughter's life. After some time, Olivia wakes up from the vision and notices that Ray and the others who had disappeared are all back. They gather together and share what they've seen, realizing they all had the same vision of Maisie's tragic last moments. Filled with anger and grief, they confront Kenneth, ready to take justice into their own hands. Just then, the sheriff arrives. Under immense pressure from everyone, Kenneth finally confesses to his crime and reveals the location where he hid Maisie's body. The rescue team soon heads to the forest and recovers Maisie's remains. A flashback shows Kenneth wrapping Maisie's body in a red towel and carrying it into the woods. That night, when Kenneth had gone into the forest with Ray and the others, he had seen the same haunting visions, and the weight of his guilt had deeply shaken him. In the final scene, Olivia looks up at the sky and thanks the aliens, grateful for the truth they revealed. Because of them, she now knows what truly happened to Maisie. With this newfound understanding, Olivia and Ray finally find some closure, allowing allowing them to begin healing and move forward with their lives. And with that, this story comes to an end. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye!